All right, I want to introduce everyone to my newest acquisition, a Knights Armament Sr15. Ever since I got my PWS Mark 11, which you'll see some videos on the channel for that too, I've kind of seen where premium ARs get their value and kind of wanted a 16-inch gun again. So I sold some of my lesser guns and funded this purchase. So I've already made some modifications to it, but it's largely the same. It comes with an MOE stock on it. I had this MOE SL, so I put the SL on there. It's a little bit better. I may go to a different stock in the future, but comes with a gray tube. The one thing I was a little bit disappointed is, I don't know if you can see it in the video, but there's a bunch of little marks on the buffer tube, and this was a new sealed box from the factory, so I don't know why this has wear marks on it, but it does. Comes with this end plate that has QD points on both sides. I'm using it for a sling right now. They use a castle nut that is not traditional castle style with the standard wrench, so you got to use one that interfaces these holes. It comes with a non-ambidextrous charging handle. I've switched to this Radian SD model because I wanted to suppress this gun, and I wanted the ambidextrousness of it, so I have the SD charging handle from Radian. It does come with ambidextrous safeties, and I do like that. And the one thing I do really like about it is on this side, it has this scallop cut. So when you're holding it, it goes into your hand, or your finger like that. It doesn't actually dig in like a full-size lever on that side would be. It is an ambidextrous lower. You have your ambi left hand mag release. There's your standard bolt catch. And then on this side, you have the standard mag catch and then a bolt release. I was debating between this and the Radian Model 1. I think I'm going to get both eventually. I do like the idea of the Radian Model 1. You can, from your firing grip, lock the bolt to the rear, which should make malfunction clearing easier and faster. This one, you have to do a more traditional style, pushing this as you're racking the charging handle. I'm using this is their version URX4 rail. So it's basically timed with, this is like a big barrel nut basically, and it's timed with shims to the front rail. It's supposed to be pretty rigid. I'm seeing this kind of, but truth be told, this rail doesn't seem so out of character compared to just like a regular Atlas charging handle that I have on a different gun. So we'll see. I just got the gun, so I don't have a fully formed opinion yet, but they give you a couple, 6 of these M-LOK covers. I wanted a few more. I already had a few in my bin, so extended those covers out a bit. I like ladder covers on the top, so when I do get my hand on there at all, it doesn't dig into me at all, so I usually put those on. And then on the bottom, I use the rubber M-LOK covers from Magpul, the whatever, type 1 and type 2. I don't know which one's which, but they're one of each. They do include a nice aluminum M-LOK section here of pick rail, and that's a Knights part, and I just have the Atlas on here for some testing. Up front, they come with a flash hider attached. It's a special flash hider that allows their QD mounting system for their suppressors to work. And that's where I was most torn on is this rifle, is I want to suppress it. And it seems like with this gas system, which I'll get into in a second, you can't really adjust it. So I was really worried that I'm just going to have a gas cloud. But what I did is I put the Q Cherry Bomb on here, and then this is a Q Trash Panda. All titanium. It's big, but it's light, so I figured it'd be good for this rifle. I just shot it a few mags, and it's not painful, so that's good. I think it'll be a winner. But the gas system, so back to the gas system. So this has got their E3 gas system, apparently, and what's unique to a standard is it's not a standard gas block. It's basically held on the front here with a castle nut. So it's got a gas block and then a castle nut goes in from the end and tensions it down, so there's no cross pins and all the standard stuff. And then on the output, where the gas block and gas tube usually interact with each other, On a standard gun, it's just a slip fit with a cross pin holding it in. This has almost like a compression fitting, almost like a brake line. So it has a threaded on compression fitting that holds the gas tube on, which means there's very little gas leak. Well, no, it should be no gas leakage on there, which means they can get by with less gas running it because there's no leakage. On most DI guns, you'll see gas sootiness in here. That's because it's leaking gas. And if you're leaking gas, that means you're not getting all the gas down to the carrier, and that's a problem. So when it gets back in here, the bolt itself is also unique. The locking lugs on the bolt and the barrel extension on the barrel, instead of being square notched teeth in there like a regular AR-15, they have this rounded scallops. So it's just basically rounding the corners. And what in theory that is supposed to do is, coupled with this gas block, is require less gas to unlock the bolt and get it in its rearward motion. And in that regard, it should be a softer shooting rifle because of that. I would have to do them side by side to really tell, because I get my memory for that kind of stuff is pretty short, so I'd have to do it quickly with another gun, but I'll take their word for that. Another thing in the bolt is where the standard extractor is, there's usually one spring that holds it. This one has a whale tail almost, so it goes wide instead of just going straight back, and there's dual springs on the extractor. So a couple improvements there. It does come with a 2-stage trigger. I did test it on my trigger gauge, and I'm getting just over 4 pounds, so I'd call it essentially a 4-pound trigger. It's nice. It's a little heavy, but I'm used to precision rifle triggers, so it's totally fine for this application. One thing I am going to switch out is I have a bootleg adjustable carrier coming. So even though it's got a unique bolt and extension, it has a standard carrier for the bolt, and I will swap that out with the bootleg, which has adjustment settings right here, so it'll vent out the gas, and it should let me tune this gun as much as I can, because I can't adjust the gas block like a traditional gun. Up top here, you'll notice I am missing sights. These SR15s come with some really awesome flip-up sights, and if you've seen my other video that I probably already posted, you'll see I stole those sights for my PWS, and I have on order for this gun, they'll be here in a couple weeks, 45-degree offset irons. So same irons, they just will 45 offset, and they'll lay right here on this 1 o'clock panel. And the reason is this is also on a QD mount. My ACOG here is on a QD, so in the theory of a time of need, I could flip it off, but I really want to just be able to flip it up and then roll it, and then not even have to worry about doing anything with this optic. So those will give me my 45-degree. This is sighted in for 100 yards. This is a TA-31, and it has the green horseshoe reticle in it. This is a really funny story on this optic is I had this optic and I thought grass was greener, and I went to a 1-6, sold this optic. My buddy actually bought this optic from the guy that I sold it to when he was hard up for cash. And then I decided I wanted to get an ACOG again for this rifle, and I was able to purchase it back. So this has gone through 3 owners and back to the original. And the one thing I am also going to do is it's got these threaded bungs here. I've already got on order a Trijicon saddle mount that goes right here that puts an RMR right here, and I have a Holosun 507C that I will put on here. So I'll just put a red dot for maybe 50 yard zero. This has a 100 yard zero with BDC out to 600, and then I'll have my iron sights for if all else fails. But so far I love this gun. It seems to be all high quality, everything I could ask for. It is expensive, there is no doubt about that. I think this gun, to get it to me shipped with everything, was like $2,318, so not cheap. No distributors had them. It had a huge lead time getting it directly from Knights. I ended up buying it off a company on Gunbroker, Kelly Enterprises, supposedly the biggest Knights dealership. So I got it because I wanted it, and we're kind of in a panic buy time right now, so guns are hard to come by. So I needed it. I sold my other guns, and I paid full freight to get it. So I am going to now shoot it, and I'll show you what it sounds like with this Trash Panda on it. Okay, we're here at 100 meters. We're just I've already just sighted this ACOG in, and I got 20 rounds of just American Eagle, 62 grain, nothing special. Got the Trash Panda, got everything going here, so let's give her a rip. So I think it works pretty good. It's actually not a gas cloud as I would have expected with suppressing other AR-15s without any adjustments, but I think the bolt carrier will just get me that much better. But so far I'm pretty happy with it. It also is a little deceiving because it's a little windy today, so maybe the gas cloud is getting blown away from me before it gets in my eyes. But so far, I think this is a high quality gun. One thing I didn't mention was, even with a suppressor on it, which it's a titanium suppressor and all that, this gun is way lighter than it should be. Like, it just feels lighter, but it feels high quality. It doesn't feel cheap. I did go to this ACOG specifically because I went to, if you've seen other videos, I had a LED ACOG on here, which was battery powered, and I thought that would be better compared to this one. I was actually wrong. The battery powereds are 18 ounces. This is like 9 ounces, I believe. I'm not sure with the QD mount on it, but it is significantly lighter of an optic. So I'm really happy with that. But so far, that is the Knights SR15. I'm sure you'll see it in future videos going forward.